I'm so happy to be back. It was such a wonderful day to be back with my wonderful students. Parents, if you're listening, we didn't get good reviews from our substitute, but I know next time I'm away that my friends are going to do so much better. But it does make me feel good that I was welcomed with lots of cute notes, and I just really missed you guys. So back to math. We are going to do two-digit multiplication. And the first problem says 43 times 30. And when you see 43 times 30, I want you to think of it as 43 times 3 tens. But it would be 43 times 3, which would be 129, and then add that 0. So it would be 129 tens, which would also be 1,290. I got to get used to writing this again. Whew, my handwriting. And then you already know that 43 times 3 is 129. And now you have 2 zeros. So it's 12,900. The next one's 830 times 20. Now think to yourself, 830 times 20, what numbers should I multiply? Well, what I want you to do is just take off those zeros. So it should be 83 times 2 to get 166. And now, how many zeros did you take away? 2. 166 with 2 zeros is 16,600. For the next one, you have 4,400. How many hundreds are in 4,400? There are 44 hundreds in 4,400. How many hundreds are there in 400? There are 4 hundreds in 400. Then you need to multiply those two numbers together and put on the zeros. Your answer should have 4 zeros. I want you to try E. For these next problems, for number 2, you need to determine if they are true or false. And how you're going to determine them is by solving them. So I want you to solve the multiplication. So you need to rewrite it. 5 tens is 50. Times 7 tens is 70. You need to figure out what 50 times 70. I take 5 times 7 and get 35, and I add 2 zeros because there's 2 zeros in those two numbers. Is 35 hundredths the same as 3,500? Well, how are you going to figure that out? You're going to take 35 times 100 to get 3,500. Is that answer true or false? It's true if those two numbers are the same. It's false if those two numbers aren't the same. I want you to do the rest and decide if it's true or false. Part A has been done for you. You need to multiply those two numbers in the whole row. You should see a pattern. 80 times 5 is the same thing as 8 times 5, which is 40, adding a 0. 80 times 5 times 50 is the same thing as 8 times 5, adding 2 zeros, because there are 2 zeros. 800 times 500 is the same thing as 8 times 5, adding how many zeros? 8,000 times 50 is the same as 8 times 5 when you add how many zeros? I want you to finish those. I think you can do those all by yourself. I'm going to set these problems up for you. I'm going to try to make these videos a little bit shorter. That's why I'm going so quickly. I'm going to set these problems up for you, and I want you to finish them yourself. A concrete stepping stone measures 20 inches square, 20 square inches. What is the area of 30 tiles? We haven't talked a lot about an area, but the area of a stepping stone is 20 inches squared. That's how it looks. It's like to the second power. But that is the area. What would be the area of 30 tiles? Well, we know one tile is 20 inches squares. What are we going to need to do? We need to take the number of inches, which is one tile, multiply it by 30 tiles to get our answer. And make sure you know it's in inches squared, because it's the total area of 30 tiles. A number equals 42,300 when multiplied by 10. So a number times 10 equals 42,300. What would this number be? Kind of think of what's the opposite of multiplication. That's part one of the problem. Then it says, find the product of that number and 500. Don't worry about the second part. I just want you to find what number times 10 equals 42,300. The rest you can just leave blank, and we'll talk about it in class. I'm so excited to be back, and I missed you so much, but I hope you had fun with your homework, and I enjoyed making videos. If you watch this video, I need you to write the color of my shirt I was wearing today. Well, the color of the shirt I'm wearing right now, technically. Write that on the top of your paper. Okay, bye-bye.